to be here at Prince said so much about you guys and an awesome group of people, and I can feel it. So, what we're going to go over today is how you can use AI to make extra income.
Yeah.
I have, by the way, I made this presentation using Gamma, so some of the pictures I came out with were really fun. You can see here,
Yeah.
money while you sleep. If you see a picture
Aw.
you like, feel free to share. I'm loving the pictures, you'll see. So, we're going to go over, and basically, you're in the right place here if you want to use AI to have some extra income streams. If you like the idea of kind of earning passively, like Francis was talking about, and if you just kind of want to know, a lot of you guys have businesses. I had other businesses while I was running this, and can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
So if you guys, I've had other businesses. This has been a passive business that I've been running since 2015, and I love it. It's fun. So I know normal business stuff is super stressful. So to be able to have just a fun income stream works. So just to kind of speak to how AI is making this even easier, I've been doing this, like I said, since 2015. I started collecting my numbers in 2017. This isn't my main business or anything, but you can see it's going up, going up. 2020 was crazy because everyone was at home and they had extra money from the government. And then it started going down, down, down until I embraced AI last year. You can see, went back up. And so far, year to date, I'm up 5.66%. So, awesome time to be here. Okay, so I've had a couple different companies, but how I started selling on Amazon, is one of the things we're going to talk about, was I was selling different products. I would sell things like Easter cookie cutters or wooden easels or anything I thought might do well. And the problem with that is I have to do a lot of research up front to figure out what might sell. You got a bad review, forget about it. So it wasn't that fun. So you have inventory, customer service, and so what I'm about to share with you is way more fun. You don't have to deal with a lot of that. So how I discovered this, is I had an ex-boyfriend who had a Facebook fan page for Pickles, the dogs, and he was selling a mug. It said something like this: in a perfect world, every dog has a home. And so I figured, yeah, it's cute, right? I figured I would put it up on Amazon, and instead of sending inventory to Amazon ahead of time, I would just make it so that people would buy it, it would get made after it got purchased, and then sent to the customer. And very quickly, I made my first sale, and it very quickly after that became a $300 a month income stream for just a super simple mug. And this business model, instead of actually buying inventory ahead of time, becomes way more fun because you can sell a bunch of different things without having to buy inventory in advance. So how many of you guys are familiar with print on demand? Okay, awesome. So the way that it works, for those of you who don't know, is that you can design different products. I'm going to walk you through later on how you can design different products and you can come up with different ideas. It's easier than ever before now. Then you put them on sites like Amazon, Etsy, and eBay. And then after customers buy your products, then you can use third-party fulfillers to get the products and make them and then ship them to your customers on your behalf. So it's super hands-off. And that's it, super duper easy business model. So you can imagine, like with the Pitbull mug, sold that was making $300 a month. So I just started scaling to more dog breeds. And you can see here we've got more sales, Rottweilers and Boxers and Golden Retrievers and everything else. And it was just using the same formula but changing out the dog breeds. So you can see how it can start to add up, huh? Woo-hoo! So what I did was I just decided to make more and more buy buttons. And so the way that I look at it is every single design that you're making, it's a new asset stream. So the more streams that you put out, the more you're putting into the universe for people to buy from you. It's more opportunities for people to give you money. And so what we're going to go over, part of today, is how you can create tons of different buy buttons and give people lots of opportunities to give you money. Not bad, right? cup, my favorite, can't read the slides, but people call me Papa. And these things, it got cut off, and some of these things are making like $30,000 a month, $20,000 a month, which is super simple phrases. Because you think about it, people are on Amazon, Etsy, and they're searching, eBay, exactly what they want to buy. They're literally telling us, I want to buy Grandpa's 77th birthday cup, whatever, or birthday gift. So, and you can sell all kinds of things. I use mugs as my main example, but I sell teddy bears and candles and doormats and shirts and hoodies. Anything you can think of, it can be customized.
And you never have to touch the product.
And you never have to touch the product. Yeah, it is so simple. So even if you guys, by the way, are busy with your own stuff, I'll get into it a little bit, you don't have time to do this. This is so good for kids, if you want to teach your kids entrepreneurship.
That's what I told my kids to do. You think they want to do it?
So
No.
simple and it
I'm so
works.
pissed.
So a decade later, I was thinking this morning, I feel like, you know how your grandparents used to say that they would walk up the mountains when they were younger, bare feet with all the snow. That's how it was a decade before for this. I had to work so much harder. So before, research could take a really long time. Now you've got AI, it gives you just tons of ideas immediately. It used to be a manual design process. I'll show you now how you can bulk edit, make tons of designs super fast. You can list really quickly, you don't have to overthink, there's no creative blocks. I mean, it's just amazing. And it's really, really fun. That's my other thing. That's why this was, I think that the company that Francis was talking about before, when I started it, it was so stressful. And so I would just sometimes lay in bed and come up with different designs to put on Amazon, Etsy, eBay. It was my stress relief. So I think you guys will find it's really creative and just kind of passive income, and it keeps chugging along. I mean, personally, I've been making 5 figures every single month from this business model since 2015, except for 2 months in 2018, and that was because I made a mistake with Amazon. So to give you guys just another kind of fun one, I was watching Gilmore Girls on Netflix, and did you guys watch that show? So I was watching it, and I thought, what if there's a character in there named Rory, and people have opinions on who she's pregnant, who the father is, and so I made 3 mugs. One that said Team Dean, one that said Team Jess, and one that said Team Logan, and they're just the 3 different names. And obviously 2 words each, super duper simple, but people are searching for this stuff. So I pretty quickly had a sale for Team Jess, which is the wrong answer, it's Logan. But since I've created those designs, I've had 7 sales for Team Dean, 22 for Logan, and 45 for Jess. 2 words each, super simple. People might even be searching just for Team Jess, nothing to do with Gilmore Girls, but either way, they're making sales. So I'll work with you guys to show you the numbers, the breakdown of how much money that you make from each product. But the take-home profit for that, I basically got paid to watch Netflix, was $518 after all expenses and everything. And so that works out, of course the numbers never really work this way, but that's $10,360 an hour. You call it 3 minutes. Thank you. Yeah. Marketer math. So with AI, it's really fun. You get to learn lots of different things and test. So I've had a course in this. I'm not selling you guys anything, but I've had a course. We've had over 1,000 people have made their first sale using this method. And the cool thing for you guys is it's never been easier. Okay, so some of the questions that you might have. I told you guys I like coming up with images. I was trying to illustrate this point, and I had GPT make a bunch of like summer kind of images. So we've got a bonfire of old beliefs that you have to be techie or anything else. I had like 30 more I could have put there, by the way. I had a lot of fun with these images. So the questions people might have about this, you guys might have, and we'll get into the how. First, people might think, is it too saturated? You said you've been doing this for 10 years. Well, yes, if you're going for generic products. So if you're going for things like Best Mom mug or something like that, everyone has a Best Mom mug. It's $5 on Amazon. You're not going to stand keywords. So what I mean by that is very specific groups of people. So instead of best mom, maybe Boston Terrier mom, or as I said before, 77 grandma gift or something like that. That's a lot more specific, and then you can still stand out. I also mentioned that I do say mugs a lot, but mugs and shirts are starting to get oversaturated. But if you sell things like cutting boards, teddy bears, unique products, there's so much opportunity. You guys saw my sales numbers. And I actually just read, right now it's a $12.96 billion industry for print on demand in 2025, but by 2034, it's going to be $103 billion. So it's 26% growth every single year going forward. And a lot of that is because people really want personalized gifts. So, of course, you're not going to be able to compete with the $5 products. They're going to win on the rock bottom prices, on the mass production, and stuff like that. But you're going to win on emotional connection. I'm going to walk you guys through some prompts that you can use to come up with some really great phrases, how you can come up with specific messaging, and things like that. Okay, so how much are we really making per product? Well, I like to do about $5 to $10 profit margin per item. And so sometimes it's different if you sell things like jewelry, but let's just say $5 to $10 per item. Now, you might say that's not that much, but the way I look at it is, let's say $7 on a mug, just getting $7 dings all day doing absolutely nothing. Like, that's not sad. So, I love it. Now, this model isn't necessarily, I don't purport it to be something you're going to make millions of dollars with. I mean, I guess technically I have, but it's just a chill. That wasn't going to be. Oh my gosh. But millions a year I meant. But it's just like, it's very low risk, and so it's fun. It's not something where you have to buy a bunch of inventory or pay for a bunch of ads or anything like that. And so I wrote, it's a business that doesn't spike your cortisol. For business owners, that's a very nice thing. Cortisol raises from everything else. Okay, so I mentioned before, the skills transfer, even if this isn't your thing. So you can use this for digital marketing, all types of other things, customer psychology, trend research, prompting. I taught some of this to a friend. She started a wedding card game business, and she used a lot of the skills for this. So hopefully, whether you want to do this business model or not, this is useful for you. Okay, and so my AI toolkit includes all kinds of things, but custom GPTs, love making that, we'll talk about that here in a little bit, Google Trends, Canva AI, and bulk uploading tools. We'll go into that too. Okay, so the bird's eye view here of the print on demand is we are going to pick a niche, which we'll walk through here. We're going to create designs with AI tools. I'll go over my favorite ones. And then we're going to list the products, and then those orders get fulfilled. So step one is finding niches. Now, like I said before, we're going on these search engines where people are telling us they want to buy from us. You don't have to do any convincing. You know, a lot of times when people go to run Facebook ads or different things, you're having to try to educate people, convince them to buy whatever it is that you have. Here they're saying, yo, I want to pay for this. Just give me the product. So you're just putting the favorite. It's making it a lot easier for you. And people buy things like, you know, funny knitting mug, gift idea for drummers, etc. So there's a bunch of different ways. I've included a couple different things to try to help you guys. So one thing is, if you go to rachelrofe.com/design list, there's no opt-in or anything. That's going to give you a list of 100+ pages of niches that you can sell to. And I'll walk you through some other things too. Obviously, AI can help you a lot. And one of the things that I love to do in order to create the most via ends possible is to create formulas. And so by a formula, you can see here like this job, where you would insert the job, runs on caffeine and sarcasm. So then that becomes this teacher runs on caffeine and sarcasm, or this engineer, or this mom, etc. this goes back to the thing I was telling you guys about how I had to walk uphill in the snow. Because here's an example. This one used to be a really popular phrase, "There's a chance this is wine." And you'd same thing, whiskey, vodka. I remember years ago I went on Wikipedia and I did a search for every type of alcohol and I was manually copying and pasting, which obviously is not that bad, but now it's just so much easier. So the formula is a really good way to just get a lot of products out for a lot of different groups of people quite quickly. You can also do ChatGPT to come up with sub-niches. I can try to get you guys these slides, I'd be happy to. Basically, with ChatGPT or wherever, in this example, I wrote, please give me 100 sub-niches of people in the basketball niche who I might be able to sell mugs to. You can sell whatever product. The reason why you would do something like this is I like to get a lot of different products out there, so just sell all different types of things, and then we'll see what sticks. So I expect that 98% of things are going to fail, and who cares, because we're not paying anything. On Amazon, you don't pay anything to list your products. On Etsy, it's 20 cents per listing, so that's not, again, sad. And so once we start to have products that sell, then I'll dig in a little bit more and I'll look for sub-niches. So in this example, I did one for basketball, and so it gave me all kinds of niches I would have never thought of. It gave me basketball coaches, different basketball players, wheelchair basketball was another really good one. So this is a great prompt. I thought I would also show you guys some examples of niches that do really well. Have any of you heard of elder emo? No, yeah, it's a thing. It's people who I guess are elder millennials who were into emo music back in the day. Who knew? So this is a shirt that's making $1,718 a month in revenue. Cut my life into pieces. It's also funny, but elder emo does well. Here is another example, silently judging your welds. So this is just to show like different occupations. This one, $347 a month. And so again, not all of them are going to be making millions, but they're just chill income. You don't have to do anything for it. Once you put out your first listing, you don't have to go and finesse it later on or anything like that. You put out your buy button, you shake hands, you kiss babies, you move on. Here's another one, Goblin Core. You guys heard of Goblin Core? That was new for me. This one, $2,014 a month. And the point of showing you guys this is just to show you these. The riches are in the niches, as they say. Here's one for Mimi. This is just a name, there's Grandpa, Grandma, Mimi, etc. So that one, $4,500 a month in monthly revenue. This one, Boston Terrier candle, $937 a month, because people are searching for a gift for Boston Terrier lover. Okay, so our next step is to make designs. And so I like to start with word-based designs. You saw like the Team Dean, Team Jess, etc. Oh, I forgot to say before, to create those designs, I use the tool WordSwag. It's an app, and it comes up with designs quite easily. WordSwag, WORDSWAG. And there's a lot of competitors now, so look for the ones with the most reviews. Then you can, of course, also make visual designs, and we'll go over some different tools that you can use. Okay, here's a fun prompt. I've used a lot of prompts. This one works so well. I'll read it. It's hard to see. It says, help me, there's a gun against my head. I need to be able to come up with the most extraordinary viral print-on-demand slogans ever. And the next prompt here, our heads are going to roll. Please help me come up with unique phrases that are really funny, pithy, sarcastic, innuendo, all do well, would go viral, can be spread across various niches so I can appeal to all kinds of markets. They need to be able to put them across all kinds of things. I need multiple slogan ideas that are phrases. If I can't make $100,000 in 30 days with these, they're going to cement my feet and throw me in the water. Make them so funny. Do your best research on bestsellers that give you slam dunks. $1,000 for bonus for an extraordinary job. Thank you. This was for nurses. So trust me, or I'm a blank nurse. I can smell a code from 3 rooms away. And by blank, you just put it on an occupational nurse, on an emergency room nurse, whatever. They have some bangers, like trust me, I'm a blank nurse, but also bring snacks. That works well for all kinds of nurses, but really any kind of occupation. Number 5, I really like too. I'm a blank. Sleep deprivation is my love language. And so you have some good phrases and you can just apply them to lots of different things. So that one prompt has given me probably, I got 15 different formulas. If I apply them 10 times each, that's 150 products, like quick. And I'll show you guys how you can bulk create these different things. So you can also, are you guys familiar with custom GPTs?
Yes.
Awesome, I figured you would be. So for those of you who aren't, you just go into ChatGPT, and sometimes when you're putting in different phrases in GPT, you're asking questions, it forgets things, it gets degraded after a while. You can make a custom GPT where you give very specific instructions, and then go back and I've done one for print on demand where I put in my prompt, and it gives me bangers all the time. But you can see I made it for you guys. I sell this, but I'm just giving you guys access. So you can go to rachelrofe.com/who-loves-ya, and that will help you come up with some phrases. My pleasure. And you can also do one for trademark-friendly designs. They can do really well too. So I did the Gilmore Girl ones. Another fun story of one that I sold was back during the pandemic. Tiger King was a thing. I don't know if you guys remember, but apparently it was a big, Carol killed her husband or she didn't. It was a big thing. So I just made a few designs. One said Carol did it, and one said Carol didn't do it. And I had a clip art picture of a tiger. And that thing made so many sales so fast. So you can really lean on the pop culture stuff. I think that one was $727 in 5 minutes. So my marketer math is even better. Okay, so some of the best tools that you can use for designs. We've got ChatGPT is really good. Love Art. Have you guys heard of Love Art yet? It's kind of new. You can apply, they waitlist you, they come up with some sick images. Imagine.art is a pretty good one. Canva is okay, and Gemini is hit or miss. Just when I'm done with Gemini, it gives me a good one. Another one that I forgot to put on here is Ideogram, IDEOGRAM. That one comes up with great ones. When you guys are making your designs, ask for a transparent background so that you can put them on all different types of pictures. If you don't get a transparent background, because we know AI doesn't always listen, you can use remove.bg. It's a free tool that will take out the backgrounds. Okay, so Evergreen is awesome. That's kind of my bread and butter. I put up designs that still might be selling 10 years later. But you can also do cool things with AI now with trends and workflows. So we only had a certain time to talk now, but hopefully in the future I can teach you guys about different workflows where you can go and see what trends are popular right now. And then you can have AI make designs for you and then sell them. So an example of this is, again, during the pandemic, there was a popular share quote that said something like, "My mom used to tell me to grow up and find a rich man." And I said, "Mom, I am a rich man." And so that one, I put on some products, and that did really well too. So sometimes you can do really well. We have students that during the eclipses, they made a ton of sales on eclipses, politics. You can make so much money with politics. I know it's 0% fun. But we have some students that do really well with that. We had, again during the pandemic, Cuomo-sexual for people who are more liberal. That one did really well. And then on the other side, we had a student, I guess during 2016, Hillary made some kind of comment about deplorables. And so a student made a thing said proud to be a deplorable. She made like $50,000 in a few days. She's getting picked up by news stations. I mean, so either way, you can make some sales that way.
Oh, you can leverage
Okay,
that
so
now.
you can generate designs really fast now with AI. There's different ways you can do it, but Canva is really awesome. They have a bulk upload tool, and I didn't think I would have time to show you the entire thing, so I have a redirect to Canva's video on how you can bulk upload. So just rachelrofe.com/bulk create. And the way it works is you have a template, so you can see in this example, like, dear blank, I'm glad to be your favorite, and then you do a spreadsheet. You can have it say, mom, dad, grandpa, whatever, and then it'll just automatically create them for you. And so now you've got a zillion different products you can sell really fast. So to find early buzz, there's lots of different things that you can do. You can use Google Trends. Etsy trending can help you come up with ideas. TikTok, Pinterest. A paid tool that's really good is Exploding Topics. That can help you find trends that are before they get super mainstream. And also, if you have kids in your life in any capacity, talk to them, because we have people that come up with phrases just off of like new Gen Z language. You just have the word and they can do really well. They've got tons of ideas, a totally different perspective. Okay, so the next step is we add the designs to the listings. So my favorite suppliers are Custom Hubby. That was actually my fulfillment center. I've since sold it, but we developed it specifically to help people doing this model. And Print Products Fast. So you can see here, I just took a simple design, best truck driver ever. That design, last I checked a couple of years ago, just those 4 words made $17,000 in sales. So take that design, you can make your mock-ups, and then you just list them on Amazon, Etsy, and eBay. And I'll walk you through in a second how you want to list them, with what words and everything. I made this little thing. I don't think it worked till the end. Okay, so basically this is how you do it. I didn't think I'd have time for a demo. You make the design. I'm just doing this in Canva. And then you go over, you find the product. It didn't finish. Oh, it did here. It did one of my slides. Hooray. So you go on, you take the design, you put it on the mock-up, and then press the button. And then it's that easy. Like, you can just come up with these ideas out of thin air, put them on the products, and then sell them. I mean, it's just, life is pretty good for us. Okay, so when you take your designs, you're going to want to optimize them as much as possible. So I keep saying we want to think about what are buyers typing in before they go to find us. So those are the keywords that we want to have in our title. So in this prompt, I wrote, please write me a keyword stuff title, tags and description for an artwork mug that I'm selling on Etsy. I want people to find it effortlessly and then foam at the mouth with the description and get the highest conversion rate possible. Thank you. And so this is really simple now too. You don't have to think very much. GPT knows exactly what to do. And you'll put that in. Here is a good example, a good keyword example. So this is put this way because someone might be searching for a personalized squirrel mug, as an example. So we've got that in the title. Also squirrel mug coffee cup, if they're searching for that, or custom squirrel cup. So it was just put in really well. So whatever someone might be doing, because what I find is a lot of times people will make designs that they think are really funny, and they might be funny, but if people aren't searching for them, then it doesn't really matter. They're not going to get found. And so when we're making these titles, we're just kind of talking to what it is that they're saying they want to spend money on. This is a good picture. So this one is for Etsy. If you list on there, you go to rachelrofe.com/Etsy, you get your first 20 listings for free. Okay. So overall, I'd say you just want to keep it as simple as you can. So put out a ton of products. Obviously, I started with one product, but I now have probably like over 50,000 of them because it's just so simple to do. I mean, you guys see when you're doing this in seconds to create these designs. So then make sure you're testing out tons of different product types. Mugs and shirts, as I said, it's going to be a little bit harder, but there's so many unique things you can sell now. You want to scale what works, and then over time, grow. So it's not get rich quick, but it is genuinely fun. Here are some more examples, by the way, of products. I mentioned teddy bears. It's actually right now my #1 best-selling product, teddy bears. And number 2, I think, is candles. Shot glasses have been crushing. Frames, cutting boards. There's cutting boards that are making over $60,000 a month on Etsy. And some of them is just people will send you recipes that they want, and you just get it engraved for them. So, and because a lot of you guys are business owners, you guys can use this also, just this knowledge, to add different product lines to your businesses if you wanted to create merch for your companies and things like that. So, stick with me, kid, and maybe you too can get paid to watch Netflix. So we have some time left, so if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. I'll repeat your question. Yeah. So the question was, when you're making a listing, if it's not selling, do you pull it down or do you just keep it up because it's only 20 cents? So I personally just keep it up because I'm trying to keep this as chill as possible. I don't want to have to go back and think about it. Plus, I'll sometimes have things that sell 10 years later that I never even expected. So yeah, keep it. Yes.
Okay, you come up with your phrase, you got everything, you go find the cup, or whatever, the teddy bear, and then you create the image, and then you just take it and put it on Amazon. When someone orders, who's fulfilling? The company that you signed up with? Like the customhappy.com?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Custom Happy, you can go and manually place an order. They're working on getting a software right now. Or Print Products Fast will do it automatically for you. So the order goes through, they fetch the order information, it's sent to your customer, the tracking number gets sent to your customer. Super chill.
And what happens like with the cutting board that you put your own message on that they want? It's specific to them, it's their recipe.
Yeah, that's perfect. Then you just upload the words that they want, and then it'll get shipped for you.
You upload it, or it just goes through and they upload it?
It depends which tool you're using, but usually actually it can be automated. But sometimes, otherwise, you would just take the design and then upload it to like Custom Happy. They would download it, put it on the product, and ship it out for you.
Real quick question, how do you track the price that your suppliers charge? If it goes up, to the point where you either change your price or stop selling it?
Yeah, so the question was, if a supplier raises their price, do we change the price or is the decision point to stop? I mean, I'm usually making like $5 to $7 extra per product, sometimes even more, so it can usually withstand different things. And they'll email and give you time ahead, but I've never really seen big price raises.
Rachel, we got one over here.
Okay.
I'm standing right here. Hello.
Hi.
Just got a question. Copywriting. How does this affect copywriting when you come up against that?
That's a great question. So, copyright's generally not a thing, but you can check for trademarks on trademarkia.com to make sure that something's not trademarked. But generally, as long as you're acting with integrity, it's not really a problem. I have all those listings up, and I don't want that to make you guys think, oh, you can't get these numbers if you have 50,000 listings. Because I started with one, it was making $300 a month, and then it scaled up. But as long as you're operating in integrity, I've only ever had a couple different problems, and it's just, they slap you on the wrist and you move on.
One more this kind young lady, and then I'll leave you guys alone.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say thank you for bringing this to this event. It's what I came I make those products when people order them online. And I need to know how AI for Business helps me catch people like you.
How it helps? What do you mean? Can you say more?
We are a print shop
Okay.
in Panama City, Florida.
Oh,
And we are looking at how AI for Business can help me catch
question was, when the orders come in, is it all automated or do you need to track anything? And it's automated. So Print Products Fast will automate it for you. It's not yet automated with Custom Happy. They are working on that software, so you could just manually do it. But the benefit of Custom Happy is they have very unique products that other people don't have yet. So you might, once you start making a lot of sales, just hire somebody to put in the orders for you. Or actually, they also have an order desk integration. So you can write to them and that can be automated. Okay, I'll ask her and then.
So you talked about the implications of bad reviews, so now you're putting the responsibility of your suppliers to do the fulfillment of the product and ensure that it's delivered in quality, order matching, the time, and so forth. How does that work in terms of you uploading the order and who actually has the responsibility in the room? Do you actually just list the product itself and no longer have a brand associated with it? Or how do you manage that reputation issue?
So it's your brand, so the supplier has to do a good job. That's why there's a ton of different fulfillers, and I'm very picky about who I recommend. The thing though, the bad review is a lot harder when you're buying the inventory in advance, because then one review or a couple now, depending, that can really hurt your business. But with print on demand, it's not that big of a deal because you have a zillion other listings. So I don't really worry too much about it. But the suppliers that I mentioned, they do a good job. I usually get awesome reviews. Sure, so the question is, who's responsible for returns if if it breaks or if someone has an issue or whatever? So as a seller, you get to determine what your policies are. Generally, because a lot of these are made to order, I don't accept refunds, but if there's a quality issue, then the supplier would fix it. I know with Custom Happy, the company that I sold, we had like a 0.07% break rate on our mugs. We had this glorious little mug mailer, so it really wasn't a big thing.
Would you consider holding a class for us that are in here special aside from your regular classes, so we're all using this and the tools from AI for business, and how would we sign up for that?
Yeah, of course. Francis, actually, so the question was, would I hold a special class for you guys, for those of you to use this? And totally, yeah.
We have a surprise for you, don't worry.
Francis and Brian, love you.
We got one over here.
Okay,
Two.
I'll be right back.
Okay, my question is, and actually I want to connect with you too. We were just with other people. What I have is a company I sell. I did the past, kind of shut it down, getting back up again. Patriotic apparel, other merchandise, things like that. And it's really more of a gateway drug. I want to use that as a business too. But I also have like a custom AR-15 manufacturing business too, which I can't really advertise that stuff on Facebook, Instagram, all the other things. They won't let me. What I really want to do is build an email list for the apparel for people who would be into those type of things. With Amazon, Etsy, I don't get an email list good. That's just a straight. So what would you suggest I do to get a Shopify store? What are some of the things you would change that you didn't necessarily have there to build up something like, when you don't have the ability to use those third-party suppliers?
Yeah, so like you said, you can't get the email addresses. On Etsy, though, you can sort of get around it, so you can still put your listings on there. I don't do very well on Shopify, so I can't really speak with any level of integrity about it. But yeah, if you can't do the reviews, I would say maybe go to people that have products that are adjacent and see if you can run some bonuses to them. Yeah.
Hi. My question is this, since we just mentioned about Made in America, and we have fulfillment centers, what is the percentage that we would be giving to the fulfillment center and what our profit would be? Because we were talking about how cheap China is, would it be a 50-50 or should it be a 60-40 split?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Yeah, so you set the prices. So the supplier's going to tell you how much their product is. Let's say a mug's $4.95, and then you're going to say you want it to be $14 Of course, mugs, you can't go super high, and if you're doing something like jewelry or cutting boards or something where there's not a lot of competition, then you can get pretty high.
Do you do any marketing?
How do you make sure that your product is on the first page?
So the question is, how can you make sure your product is on the first page? Well, you can't necessarily make sure that it's on the first page. It's not going to be every single time. But when we're going after these super long tail keywords that there's not going to be a lot of competition, you're just naturally going to be able to stand out. How many squirrel mom cutting boards are there? Not that many. Sure. What's up? Brown? Yeah. Hey. So the question is, do you offer free shipping on Amazon? So that you can really set it yourself. I personally offer free shipping. We're not sending the items to Prime because they're made to order. That's really the beauty of this business model, is that you don't ever have to buy anything. Sometimes I'll send stuff to Prime after I've sold a lot of it. People are showing me that they're going to vote with their wallets. Then I'll send it in and I'll make more sales that way. But we're just trying to keep it as chill as we possibly can for the beginning. So the question is, how do we know what people are searching for? So I don't do a ton of research up front. I mostly go like that design list that I gave you. I'm just throwing up a bunch of different things and I'm going to see what sticks because it's so quick to come up with these different designs. But then also, like I had the example of basketball before. I put a bunch of stuff up, basketball sold, so then I dug in more and I did some research then because it was worth my time. Sure?
Hey, do you?
Hello? Hey, do you do any of your own marketing at all, social media or anything?
No.
Pass it over here. Could you pass it over? Not at all.
No, I don't do any social. I just want to keep this as chill as possible.
I just have a question in terms of the Amazon part itself. It's like setting up your website and actually selling on there, because I have tried and was not successful. Do you have a class, a course, a page? Why is it so difficult? Or is it not?
I mean, Amazon's not the most intuitive thing in all the land, but sellercentral.amazon.com. You don't have to create a website or anything on there. There's a lot of videos, and Francis and Brian have got your back, so stay tuned.